Hello everyone, welcome to my new video demo. My name is Zoran and I am a cloud solutions architect. In the previous video, I showed how Hyper-RAG works and how it helps an AI system find the right business context, understand it well, and then return a grounded answer. But in practice, that is only part of the picture. If we want a serious AI system, it is not enough for it to only give good answers. It also needs to be able to use tools in a controlled way, access data, and when allowed, carry out a real action. That is where MCP, Model Context Protocol, comes in. MCP matters because it introduces a clear and standardized way for AI to communicate with tools and external systems. In other words, Hyper-RAG helps the system understand and explain, while MCP helps the system move safely and in a controlled way from understanding to action. So in this video, I am taking the next step. I'm not only showing how AI arrives at an answer, but also how the same system can operate inside a serious, controlled operational environment. But first, let me take a look at the new services and applications I introduced to support full MCP integration in this project. In this resource group, we can see the main infrastructure foundation that supports the overall solution. For the MCP extension, I added 3 important resources here. The first one is Azure SQL database. In this solution, Azure SQL is the operational system of record for MCP actions. This is where we keep things like account status, internal notes, approval records, and action logs. The second one is Azure Service Bus. Its role is to act as the transport layer between decision and execution. In other words, this is where action requests, approval requests, and execution results move through the system. The third one is Logic Apps Standard. This is our workflow layer for notification and approval related flows. It allows us to show how the system moves from analysis into a controlled business action. Then, in this second resource group, we have the container apps that carry the execution logic of the system. In the previous Hyper-RAG video, we had 3 core services here: Orchestrator, Indexing, and Retrieval. For this video, I added 5 more services that introduce the MCP layer control and a visible proof trail. The first one is the MCP server. Its role is to define which tools the system has available and under which rules those tools can be used. Then I have the tool execution service. It takes approved actions and routes them to the real target systems, such as Azure SQL and Logic Apps. I also have the approval service. Its role is to introduce control over higher risk actions, so the system does not execute write or update operation without explicit approval. I also have the audit service. It keeps the full trace of the flow, so we can clearly see what was requested, what was approved, and what was ultimately executed. And finally, I have the artifact service. In our case, it is useful because it passes the data and artifacts generated during the process into the UI, so that inside the interface, we can clearly show the processing flow and the proof trail. That is what allows the system to move from grounded understanding into controlled action. Now I want to look at these new services in my VS Code, where they were actually created, so I can show you a few of the key elements behind the MCP layer. When I introduced MCP into this demo, the first important step was to clearly define the tool layer. This file is the MCP server entry point. It shows how the service is organized into 3 main routes: health, tools, and execution. In simple terms, this is the file that wires the MCP server together and exposes the main endpoints used by the rest of the system. This file is where the tool catalog becomes explicit. Here we can see which tools the system is allowed to use, what each tool is for, which target system it belongs to, and whether it needs approval before execution. So this is the controlled MCP tool layer. The system can only use the tools we have defined here, under the rules we have defined here. This file shows what happens when the MCP server receives a tool request. It looks up the selected tool, checks its execution rules, and prepares the dispatch plan. In practical terms, this is where the system moves from tool selection into controlled execution routing, including approval state, service bus queues, and the handoff to the execution service. This file shows the execution side of the architecture. The MCP server decides which tool should be used, but this file shows where that action actually goes. Here we can see that notification actions are routed to logic apps, while write actions are routed to Azure SQL, and that the result is returned through the service bus result path. This is a small file, but it is useful in the demo because it clearly shows which Azure resources this execution layer depends on. Here we can see the reference to Azure SQL, logic apps, and service bus. Even though this is formally just a health endpoint, it is useful because it connects what we are looking at in the code with what we later show in the Azure portal. We can clearly see where the tools are defined, how their rules are controlled, and how the execution layer is connected to real Azure targets. And now let's look at the logic and workflow on this diagram. And in the earlier Hyper-RAG only design, the flow was more straightforward. A user question came in from the UI, the orchestrator picked it up, triggered retrieval, assembled the grounded context, and then passed that grounded input to the model so the model could generate the answer. So the flow was mostly linear. The orchestrator was driving the process, and the model was mainly used at the end of that process to produce the grounded response. Once MCP is introduced, that changes. The request still starts in the UI and still enters through the orchestrator, but now the orchestrator can no longer assume that every request should follow the same path. Instead, the orchestrator prepares a richer runtime input for the model. It sends the user question, but also the instructions, rules, available capabilities, tool definitions, policy context, and any prior runtime outputs if the flow already has intermediate results. That matters because the model now has a broader role. Now it also acts as the decision layer that helps determine what kind of handling the request actually needs. So at that point, the model evaluates the request and determines the next path. Should the request stay inside Hyper-RAG because it needs grounded business understanding? Should it move into MCP because it requires tools or operational interaction? Should it use both? The decision then comes back to the orchestrator. And from there, the orchestrator remains in control of the runtime flow. If the request needs Hyper-RAG, the orchestrator drives retrieval and grounding. If it needs MCP, the orchestrator routes the flow into the tool layer and, when necessary, through approval and authorization control before execution can continue. If both are needed, the orchestrator manages that combined flow in one controlled process. The bigger change is that we changed how the system decides what should happen next. In the earlier design, the orchestrator was primarily driving a linear grounding flow. In this design, the model helps determine the path, while the orchestrator remains the runtime controller that executes that path, enforces control, and carries the process forward until the system has everything it needs for the final outcome. And now I will open the UI and walk through a few questions step by step. In this part, I want to focus on how the system responds and how it brings in Hyper-RAG, MCP, or both together when needed. So, we are not only looking at the final answer, we are also looking at the path behind it, when the system stays in grounded understanding, when it moves into action, and when it introduces approval before execution. On the left, we have the question and the final answer. In the middle, we have the retrieval trace, showing how the system found the relevant business context. And on the right, we have the proof trail, where we can see whether the system only answered or whether it also moved into operational action through MCP. But before this, let me first take a quick look at Azure Service Bus. At this point, there is no visible activity yet. That is expected. This is our clean starting state before the MCP flow begins. Let's start with the simplest scenario and then move gradually into more complete flows. Our first question is, what's driving the renewal risk for Contoso right now? This is the cleanest case. The user is only asking for an explanation, so we expect the system to stay entirely inside the Hyper-RAG flow. And that is exactly what we see. The system explains the renewal risk. The retrieval trace shows how the evidence was selected and grounded, and the proof trail confirms that MCP was not requested. Now let's move into a case where the system does more than explain. Our second question is, can you summarize what's blocking the Fabricam proposal and send a recap to the account owner? Here, the system needs both understanding and action. It first uses Hyper-RAG to understand what is blocking the proposal, and then it uses MCP to trigger the next business step. We can see that in the capability path, which now shows Hyper-RAG followed by MCP. And in the proof trail, we can see the tool involved, which is send-summary-email, along with the target workflow path behind it. Now we go one step further. This next case introduces a write action, which means approval becomes important. Our third question is what's holding up the Fabricam proposal, and add an internal follow-up note for the sales team. This is different because the system is now being asked to write into an operational record. So we still expect Hyper-RAG for understanding and MCP for the action, but this time the action should not execute immediately. And that is what we see. The system explains the issue, prepares the right action, and then stops at approval. In the proof trail, we can see that the requested tool is add-case-note. The target is Azure SQL, and the approval state is pending. When we open the approval view, we can see exactly what is about to be written. And after approval, the action moves to completed state. Our fourth question is what's putting the Contoso renewal at risk right now, and update the account status to executive attention needed and notify the account owner. The system needs to understand the business situation, prepare a status update, and also prepare a notification. So here we see Hyper-RAG for understanding, MCP for action, and approval before the operational change is allowed to continue. In the proof trail, we can see that two MCP tools are involved: update-account-status and send-summary-email. One goes to Azure SQL and the other goes to Logic Apps. Before approval, both actions are waiting. After approval, both move to completed state. So that shows the full combined flow. Understand the problem, prepare multiple actions, apply approval control, and then complete the operational outcome. So across these four scenarios, we can see four levels of behavior from the same system. First, grounded answer only, then answer plus notification, then answer plus approved write, and finally, a combined write and notification flow under approval control. Now let's go back and take a quick look in Azure portal at Azure Service Bus to see what happened. Earlier, this was still in a clean state. Now we can see that activity has taken place. On the overview page, the graph shows that message traffic went through the service, and the counters confirm that messages were sent, received, and processed. So even though there are no visible messages sitting in the queue, we still have proof that the transport layer was active. That is exactly what we want here. Service Bus is not being used as a place to keep messages visible. Its role is to move them through the system as part of the execution flow. So this gives us transport layer proof that the MCP actions moved from orchestration into execution. Now take a look in Azure SQL, because this is where we can verify the actual business side result of the MCP actions. Here in Azure SQL, we can see the result. In the approval requests, we can see that the right action was approved. In the account notes, we can see the actual internal note that was added for Fabricam. And in the action log, we can see the trace for that completed right action. So this confirms that the note was not written automatically. It was approved first, then executed, and then stored in the operational record. If we now look at the result from the last question, we can see that the Contoso account status was updated to executive attention needed. We can also see the approval record for that action and the action log behind the completed flow. After Azure SQL shows the business record changes, now let's look at the workflow side in Logic Apps. In this demo, Logic Apps Standard is the workflow target for notification actions. What matters here is that we can see real run and the actual payload that came into the workflow. Here we are in the send-summary email workflow for the Contoso scenario. When we open the run, we can see that this is tied to the actual business flow. We can see the scenario name, the tool name, and the execution chain requested by the model, dispatched by the orchestrator, and executed by the tool execution service. And we can also see the business payload itself, including the account, the subject, and the notification content. So this gives us workflow proof that the notification step really happened. Now if we look at another run, this time for Fabricam, we see the same execution pattern but with a different business payload. That is important because it shows that the workflow is reusable. The flow stays the same, but the payload changes by scenario. So the key point here is simple. The UI shows the business narrative, but Azure Portal gives us the operational proof. Azure SQL shows the business record changes, and the Logic Apps shows the workflow execution evidence. Together, they confirm that the MCP flow is not only visible in the UI, but also reflected in the actual backend systems. So what we saw in this video is a system that does more than generate answers. It can understand, decide, act in a controlled way, and leave a visible proof trail behind. And that is what makes the whole flow far more useful in a real business environment. Thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you again in the next one. Until then, take care.